Hi, it's Ken from Taiwan. It's graduation season, and I want to make a card that shifts perspective from not only celebrating the graduates, but moms who might be feeling bittersweet at this time. For this card, I'm using Karen Burniston's Paper People and the Graduation Elements, which has cap gowns, banners, etc. I'll go through the pieces I prepared. We must have a graduate, and note that he is decorated both front and back, as both will be seen. We need Mom, she's very important for this card, and I assembled background graduates and did operations so their arms are lifted as they would be during a cap toss. We also need a good amount of caps and tassels. These banners are also from the graduation elements. I cut letters and numbers. For the cap toss movement, I used Karen Burniston's tea and coffee pop-up in a different way than intended, adopting a trick I learned from Karen. We'll be using an A2 size card. How do I explain this? It's used as it's folded as a top fold, but used in a landscape orientation. And let's just imagine we'll be having a center stage that's 3.5 by 2. So this L shape you see is what's left after cutting out. It's also 1.5 inches tall. And now I'm just going to be gluing some sky pieces in. It's full size on the right panel, and on the left we're leaving the 1.5 inches on the bottom for the sentiment later. Now with the centerfold, let's get to working on this trick I learned from Karen using the tea and coffee mechanism. We'll be using 3 of these, starting with, sorry for the glue on my fingers. I apologize. You'll be seeing that we're making every fold, and here's a little dimple that is at an angle that will fold on both sides because it's doubled up. And once it's unfolded, you just pop it on the opposite direction, so you'll have this little counter fold. Don't worry, we have 2 more to go. This one will be exactly the same as the last one. Fold the way it's meant to be, and then the little dimple, and then pop it on the opposite. There we go, a counter fold. But for the third one, what we will do is we'll start by folding the same, but then we flip the piece around and we'll do an opposite direction fold. So you'll see that the angles are different with these dimples, pointing up or pointing down. And so 2 of the same and 1 different. We'll be gluing these spokes onto the dimple face that's facing us, so it moves. The spoke wiggles, basically, as Karen put it. And we'll be doing it to all 3. Later, the formation would be like this. It would be the 2 identical ones would be separated in the middle by the one going the opposite direction. So we don't have all 3 moving, swinging in the same direction. We'll have some different movement. So we don't need this fold piece on the 2 extensions. We just make sure we have the square enough space for the folds to be completed, and then we just cut off the fold and glue on the piece to the top side of the piece in front of it, if that makes any sense. You'll see how they all wiggle. And here we need to figure out where to place this mechanism. You want to have it a bit higher than 1.5 inches because we do want to see the top of the heads of the background graduates. So now we're gluing the fold to the opposite side, and as we compress down on the 3 dimples, we only put glue on the top and bottom of the back side, then we compress it and we fold down the opposite side of the card, and it'll naturally find its place like that. And it should be swinging just like that. This piece is what I said when we were going to do a basically a box in the middle that's 3.5 by 2 inches. So we have that size plus an inch, half an inch on each side to be the glue tab. And note that when it's folded, it should fit in with the L shape directly. So we do the short side first, this 2 inches, and we line it up with the L shape. And then we're going to glue in the longer shape. But this is the part you have to notice. It is separate than the mechanism that we glued in for the wiggle. So ignore the fold of the back piece. It's separate. And now we're going to put caps on the spokes so they wiggle, and it gives the impression that it's a cap toss. I tend to glue them at the highest point of the spokes. That works. Testing it out with the crowd background graduates. I doubled up some of the caps to make it seem more numerous. I put some on the graduates so it seems like it's just flying off of their head. And this is the part I'm sorry you have to see. They're getting amputated because they do need to fit nicely into that mechanism cover. And some parts that stick out when you close the card, those just get trimmed off. So as you can see, now let's get rid of the amputated part. But the banner goes on the front, and I made the mistake of using, I don't know what kind of glitter paper, but it was impossible to get off, and I spent an hour just cutting them off and by hand. I don't know why I cut them again, but anyway, now we glue on the banner to the front. Here is my new sushi dot liner with soy sauce colored glue tape. But this is foam tape to pop up the banner of the 2026 a bit. So that's our front cover with the inside. And now we bring in mom, because the card is about mom, and let's write the message. It's a proud message, but it's from mom. So we are centering the story onto mom's feelings right now. And that will go in at the space we left. But I felt the sky was a little monotone, so I took some Surfside, which is the color stock, and just used the same colored ink to deepen the sky a little bit. I think that makes it feel more dramatic. Then we glue on the sentiment from mom, and everything's working. Sorry, mom was not dressed correctly. Sorry you have to see that. And I forgot to put shoes on mom. But she is sitting higher. In my mind, there's a place for parents to sit that's a little higher than the students. And here we glue on the graduate facing his classmates. Let's adjust so he's centered in that opening. Make sure as you close that it works. The side stripes are meant to be the steps for him to walk down the stage. So now we have it with the cap toss and mom and him facing both sides. So here's the design concept, and I thank you for your time for watching this. Hopefully you'll have a good graduation season. Bye.